Åsa is heading the group of material and innovation within metals. And it is interesting to note that metal plays an important part even for IKEA. So we are very, very much looking forward to listen to Åsa.
Hello, everybody. I hope you can hear me all right. Oh, perfect. Can you also see my screen that I'm sharing? Good. First of all, thank you for inviting me to your very exciting conference. I'm very, very sorry that I couldn't attend, but as I guess many others, I had a problem getting the right connection up there during the weekend. I was planning to talk about 3 topics during this morning. First of all, to give you a bit of a perspective on what IKEA is going through the next coming years with our long-term ambitions. Then touch base a little bit on democratic design and how we work with the product development and innovation. And we will also go through a little bit on what we're doing within my team when it comes to metal innovations. So IKEA is a company that was founded over 60 years ago, and we have a very, very clear vision on what is it that we will do. Our company vision is to create a better everyday life for the many people. And I always want to start with this because it is such an important thing that we actually think about every day. It is to create, meaning that we are always trying to be working in new, different ways, and we are trying to be creative. It's about getting better every day, so we are never satisfied. And we do it for the many people, so we will not develop a range for the few that can afford it. Our ambition is always to develop a range that can meet the needs of the many people. And a bit about where we are today then. Worldwide, we have 370 stores in the world, and we are present in 49 countries. And I should actually say that these numbers are a few months old, so I guess we have already now more stores and more countries than this. We started in Sweden, in Älmhult, but we have now expanded all over the world and are present in Asia as well as North America, Australia, Middle East, Russia. And to facilitate this, we are actually over 170,000 co-workers worldwide. And it may sound a lot, but in each store there are 500-600 co-workers. We have 40 plants that are doing furniture that we own ourselves. That's another 8,000 co-workers. And yeah, it all adds up with logistics, distribution centers. So being proud of being 172,000 co-workers. And to facilitate, to make us do this, we have around 1,000 suppliers that are present in 51 countries. And as I mentioned, out of these 1,000 suppliers, we are around 45 that we own ourselves. And that is mainly within solid wood and flatline chipboard-based furniture, where we, during the 70s, realized that in order to reach the many people and have the prices that are affordable, we needed to go in and break an oligopoly situation. Our ambition is not that we should own our own industries for everything. We only do it when we see that we need to in order to make a movement in the business. And looking from a global perspective, we have 60% of the production in Europe and the rest spread out through the world, with China being the biggest single purchase countries. And then I think, if I don't remember wrongly, Germany, Poland, Lithuania, Sweden are among the top 10 sourcing countries. We also source approximately 10% in US for US, where we also have some of our own plants. And when I look into the metal industry, it's actually having a similar spread out through the world, with 60% in Europe and the rest with a heavy focus on Asia, of course. So if I should just go through so you can get the perspective on how big are we when it comes to metal. We divide our metal categories into carbon steel, stainless steel, taps. It's not a big business, but it's important for us. We have aluminum and Samak, which we have clustered into one sourcing category. And then we have open and close. Open and close is everything that you need in order to open or close a door, which means hinges, sliding systems, and drawers. And looking into the facts and figures, from a purchase value, we buy around 800 million euro in the carbon steel category. Next one is stainless steel, where we have approximately 500 million. Then we have open and close, almost 300 million, and aluminum 200 million. And as I mentioned, taps is important for us, but from a purchase value, it's not at all that big. Looking into pieces, you can just see that this is corresponding to the purchase value. Maybe stainless has a bit more than what the purchase value is representing. And looking to the volume in cubic meters, in total we distribute throughout the world 3 million cubes, whereas the 2 million, 2/3, is actually from carbon steel. And then stainless and open and close, as you see. And the last sort of facts and figures that I can share with you, which is actually, it's not, this is more of an estimation, but around 600,000 ton in the carbon steel category, and 60,000 within stainless. In here, I actually couldn't capture the open and close, so it's without the open and close, the totality here. But it's not much compared to many car manufacturers, but looking from a global perspective, it's becoming more and more, I would say. To make a little stop, because this is talking about what we have done so far. If we look on the potential that we still have to reach the many more people that have not had access to an IKEA store before, we have a quite aggressive growth plan for the next 5 to 10 years. Again, if we look at the stores that I mentioned before, we actually have a growth agenda that is very heavy within US, where we are planning to launch additional 75 stores in Canada and US. We are planning for 40 stores in India, where we today have not even opened our first yet. And we are planning for additional 35 stores in China. And this at the same time as we continue to grow in the markets where we are already present, like in Europe, Italy, Spain, France, etc., where we still have the quite big potential to grow. So all in all, we will double our volume before. Now I can't really remember. I think it was like 2022. So we are facing a massive increase of volume, which means that we need to think about our capacities and our way of doing things in a different way. Just to give you some examples, we work with something that we call democratic design. Design many people do, but we have taken it and said that no, we should not just do pretty, nice things. We should actually do it covering more aspects. And when we talk about democratic design, we talk about form. Of course, we cannot sell anything that is not looking good, that you don't want to have in your home. We talk about function. It doesn't matter if something looks really nice if it doesn't work when you start to touch and feel it. We talk about quality, a quality that we should be proud of, where we fulfill our customer promises. And here we have done a journey the last 10 years, I would say, specifically also within metal. Sustainability is an important aspect when we are growing as we do, to make sure that we do long-lasting products that we can be proud of, to make sure that our co-workers and our suppliers' co-workers are having good work areas and work environments, and to make sure that we don't influence the planet more than what we can when using energy and resources. And of course, we wouldn't be IKEA if we didn't have the low price as one parameter into democratic design. So in each store that I mentioned and in each store that we will build, we carry a range of around 9,500 article numbers. And it's actually a limiting factor. You cannot fit more into the store having the cash and carry concept that we have. And out of these 9,500 articles in each store, we have a turnover of around 2,000 that we are developing new products each year. And it's not only, the challenge is not only to develop the new range, it's also to make sure that we sell out of the old range and that we have the new range available when we want to in the stores. And to manage this, we are working with the product development process that are working in two dimensions. And the first one is obviously the develop final products, the one that we used at least 2,000 times per store. I say per store all the time because we actually have a much broader range, because in US they want things a little bit bigger. In Asia we don't sell so many forks and knives, but we need to have a bigger range of chopsticks. In France they sell sheets in a certain pack, but in Germany in a different pack. So in order to be relevant to the customers, we actually need to make many different variants of each article we develop. And there we have a machinery that we call Develop Final Product that is supporting us with that, which is a product development process that we launched just a few years ago. And then we have realized that if we want to do things differently, if we want to talk about platforms and innovations, we cannot really use the same tool. And that's why we have another process that are linked to the final process, which is called Develop Shared Solutions, where we allow ourselves to be little bit more free, to explore and go into the unknown, and to have a bit more freedom when it comes to gate checks, and also how we can actually spend our time and money. And then, of course, in the final end, these two products need to be merged together into the meeting with the product, with the customer. And if we think a little bit of what does this mean for us when it comes to what kind of partners we need to work with, I can say in develop shared solutions, we need innovation partners, we need material partners, machinery partners, institutes, universities that can help us to crack the code into new solutions that we are not working with today. But when it comes to doing the final product, we need suppliers that know what it means to deliver into IKEA, that have a supplier number, and that can help us to make sure that what we design is designed also for mass production on the factory floor. And then we also need capacity suppliers that are not necessarily a part of the development, but when we have established a product where we need mass production only, and we don't need support from actually doing the design, there we need our base capacity suppliers. I just wanted you to get a little perspective of how we work with different aspects of development, also connecting it to democratic design, because democratic design is a tool that we actually start to work with already from the first idea, but we then finalize it and make it more sharp all the way through the processes. If we then talk a little bit about the product development when it comes to metals, you can say that we have had a journey where let's say the last 10 years, we have worked a lot with incremental development. We have done many good products that we are very proud of, but our differentiation from our competitors have not been that big. We can even say that in some part our competitors have had a wider offer than us because we have not been able to grasp all the trends when it comes to warm metal expressions. We will do a lot just by introducing platforms. We are doing that as we speak. As a customer, you will not really see that, but what we are doing is that we are creating measurement chains, geometries, and standard interfaces, which will enable us to make large-scale production concepts and to have a range that we can have over a longer period of time, which means that, of course, we can invest more in toolings and machineries and depreciate it over the lifetime. But what we also want to work with are the unleashed potentials that we are not working with today. Quite a lot of development have happened in other industries, such as aviation, automotive, train industry, where we think that if we are smart, we could actually tap into this development and see how we can do good home furnishing out of it. And I'm a bit sad that I'm not with you today, because then I could have showed you some samples of how we think about this. But maybe that will be for the next conference. So how do we then work with this? Well, we have said that we have 3 areas that are of great importance, not only for metal, but for IKEA as such. And one big challenge that we have is humidity. Launching IKEA in countries like India, as I mentioned, 38 stores within 10 years. We are also being present in Thailand, Indonesia, Arabic countries, but the same applies to southern US and southern China. And there, our wood-based materials actually become a big problem. So as an innovation as an innovation department, we have got the challenge to solve humidity for IKEA. And there we are looking into quite many tracks to see how can we make furniture that are not influenced by the humidity climate. We are also continuously looking into how can we make our solutions more resource efficient. We have in our structures today quite a lot of wood and chipboard-based furniture where we really don't take the opportunity with those materials, where if we are smart and develop metal carriers instead, we could actually take down both the price and the weight. And then we have a third, which is unleash the form and function. With metal, we actually have possibility to form in three dimensions with a pretty easy way. We can also play around with many expressions, everything from using real veneer to metal expressions, mesh. So we have quite many opportunities that we haven't really looked into yet.
Åsa?
Mm?
We have to ask you to conclude your presentation.
I don't hear anything.
This is Carl Oring, one of the chairmen. We are running out of time, and we would like you to start concluding your presentation, so we have some time for questions too, please.
Sorry, I didn't catch that. Yes, absolutely. This was actually my final slide. I just want to show you what we are looking at the next 2 years. We are looking into innovative carriers, making a technical breakthrough when it comes to how to structure the furniture. We are looking into board materials. How can we make board materials out of metal that can create furniture that are humidity stable? And technology development, how can we make the technical breakthrough looking into joining techniques? But then we also have other techniques that we have not tried in IKEA. And here I have the example of hydroforming, but it could also, we have many more that are in the pipeline that we have not addressed yet. So that is the final slide that I wanted to share with you. If I can answer any question, of course, I'm willing to do my best.
So then it's open to the audience to ask if you have any questions. I have then a question from us, and how do you have any ideas or any plans for how you would increase the use of, say, advanced high-strength steels in the IKEA design?
Can you repeat closer, because I doesn't hear. Huh? I think that will become a natural when we look into the innovative carriers. Then the high-strength steel becomes the natural solution for us. The challenge is still to have the availability globally.
Okay, any other questions for Åsa? If not, I think we thank her for this great presentation.
Yeah.